An online dater meets her perfect match until money comes up missing.
We met on Plenty of Fish. We were soulmates.
You don't know me, but let's go. We'll go have a good time. I said, you're either ballsy or you're crazy. I thought it was gonna be the weekend. It ended up being like two and a half weeks.
So what happened after that?
I see him and 3 other girls, and they're getting it on.
They were just dancing.
You go to the hotel, charge it on her credit card with her car payment money, and you go upstairs to the hotel, have 3 girls dancing, and they're just dancing.
Plaintiff Catherine Munoz says the defendant romanced her and then used her car payment to party. She's suing for stolen money and vehicle impound costs. Defendant Hugh Michael Meredith says he doesn't know because without his knowledge, Catherine pocketed money from his side business.
All rise. Court is in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, the litigants have been sworn in. This is the case of Munoz versus Meredith.
Thank you, Juan. Catherine Munoz,
Yes, ma'am?
you are suing the defendant Hugh Michael Meredith
Yes, ma'am.
for $4,810. You say he stole money from you and also caused your car to be impounded?
Repossessed.
Repossessed, okay. So I'll let you start from the beginning, but I understand that this is your former boyfriend.
Correct.
Start from the beginning. Tell me what happened, ma'am.
About a year ago, we met on Plenty of Fish. It was great from the first day we met. We were instantly best friends, had inside jokes when we didn't have inside jokes. We were soulmates, or so I thought.
So you met online, and then you decided to meet in person. How long after meeting online?
Maybe a week.
A week after meeting online?
I made first contact.
What did she say when she contacted you, sir?
She said, you look like you should be on the cover of a Sports Illustrated magazine.
Really?
And I said, well, I hope
Close.
it's not the swimsuit edition.
So this relationship started off on a lie, is what you're telling me. I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
I'm joking.
That's basically,
So that's how she approached you.
yeah, that's exactly how she approached me.
Where were you living at the time?
I was traveling, doing installations for a company installing cabinets, and
So you were traveling, but were you based anywhere in particular?
I was staying all over Florida, on just about every city, working in different places at a month at a time. And so I decided to come by, and I said, hey, listen, I'm going to Miami. You want to go for the weekend?
This was the first time you met?
First time, and came and picked her up about 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's not true. It was like 1 a.m.
Okay, maybe it was 2
But was it 1 a.m.?
It was 1 a.m.
Okay, but
yeah.
Maybe
the
like,
first
it was
time
probably
you
like
met-
2.
It was 1 a.m.
Okay, 3
yes.
hours difference.
But
So-
You met, he picked you
It
up.
was in the middle of the night.
That's true.
And she was ready to go with a bag packed. I couldn't believe it. I said, you're either, ballsy or you're crazy. You don't know me, but let's go. We'll go have a good time. And I thought it was gonna be the weekend. It ended up being like two and a half weeks. She stayed down there with me. So.
It was 1 week.
So I'm just curious though. So the first time you meet him is 1 a.m. in the morning with your bag packed, ready to go on a trip to Florida.
Yeah, in retrospect, it's a terrible idea.
It was not a bad idea, actually. I told her, I said, look, get rid of your boyfriend that you got over there. Tell him I'm coming in. I'm scooping you up. Get rid of him before I get there.
We continued to date long after Miami.
So what happened after that?
Like he said, he traveled around from city to city. He sometimes stayed for weeks. I work wherever my computer's at. So
What do you do for a living?
I was a graphic designer for
Nothing.
a magazine at the time.
So what happened? How did this relationship turn so sour?
Well, after about 6 months of dating, we decided we were going to move in together, and we moved to Chicago. And I had a job offer there. It didn't really work out, and I ended up needing to get a title loan.
A title loan for what?
My vehicle, my free and clear, paid for in 2012 Lexus RX 330. It was either that or become homeless.
Okay.
So, also a very bad idea.
And so what happens?
He'd paid bills for me in the past. I trusted him. There was no reason to not trust him. So I was traveling out of town for work, and I handed him the first payment that was due and asked if he would drop it off at the auto loan place for me. It was,
So you were making cash payments?
Yes, ma'am.
What happens next?
Every other Friday, I hand him the money, or I think he's going to remove the money from the account because he has his own card, debit card.
To what account?
It's my PayPal account, but you can add a secondary card holder.
And tell me what happens with the car payments.
He doesn't make them after the first one. I hand him the money or he withdraws the money and he's partying with the money.
Because you say that he was supposed to make how many payments and didn't make them?
There were supposed to be 8 payments and 1 was made.
It was the understanding that he was getting cash out of that PayPal account to make the payments.
Sometimes I would pull the cash out, sometimes he would. There was 4 where I
And you're
pulled
saying he kept the money?
He did, yes.
Did you do that, sir?
I did keep the money, but I was expecting a tax return where I thought that I could just pay it all back, she wouldn't know.
Okay.
But I had a debt from my ex-wife. I had almost $3,000 coming, so they seized that money, and I didn't know they were going to.
What debt? IRS?
The IRS did.
Your tax return, you never got it because that money was seized by the government.
Immediately.
So you were short money. And so
I
instead
didn't
of
have the money
talking to
to pay
her
her
and having
back.
a conversation.
I didn't have the money to pay it back when I.
Well, what were you doing at the time when you were pocketing the money and not making the payments? What were you doing with the money?
Tell her.
I was hitting the strip clubs and blowing it.
Coming up, the party gets put on hold.
I follow him to the hotel where he is partying. I see him and 3 other girls, and they're getting it on.
They were just dancing.
No, they weren't.
Plaintiff Catherine Munoz says Hugh used her car payments to party. She's suing for stolen money and vehicle impound costs. Defendant Hugh Michael Meredith says he doesn't know because Catherine is a party girl pretending to be a good girl.
You were making it rain at the strip club. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't drink very often, and sometimes when I do, I get just a little crazy, and that's why I pretty much quit drinking. So.
How many weeks of crazy are we talking about here, sir? This is seven payments.
3 or 4.
360. 5. I look at 1, 2.
14.
This is happening over the course of March.
14
all
weeks.
the way to June.
The middle, June 19th.
March, April, May, and June. This is over a course of 4 months. So, and you led her to believe every single time that you were making the payments for the car.
Yeah, pretty much.
When do you find out that he hasn't made the payments? How do you find out?
Well, in the middle of June, my mom received a letter that I'm not making the payments and they're going to repossess my car if I don't come up with $2,332 in 30 days.
Okay, so you immediately call him.
I don't call him. I want to know what's happening. So
What do you mean you don't call him?
I call the title loan company and I ask them, why didn't you call me? Is what my first reaction is. And I find out that he's changed the contact number with the title loan company and I can't receive the messages.
Is that true? Yes or no, sir?
Yeah, it's true, but I will say this. I had a collection of cowboy boots that I custom.
We're not talking.
She sold some of them. She sold some, and she recouped some of that money.
I don't want to hear anything about cowboy boots. I
Okay.
just asked you one question. You changed her number, so now you're scheming. Now there's the cover-up. There's the crime, and then there's the cover-up.
No.
Now you're engaging in cover-up. Do you confront him and say you haven't been making these payments? Because you found out in June.
Right.
When is the next time you see him? Are you still living with him?
Yes.
So you're still living in this. So you find out you see him that night in Chicago?
I have a, yeah.
So you see him that night in Chicago and you don't say anything to him about it?
Nope.
Why?
I want to see what he does with the money.
She stalked me.
Well, I follow him to the Drake Hotel.
So now you want to investigate. Now you want to start keeping track of things at this point, right?
I have to know.
So what do you do?
I hand him the money. I hand him the money that's due. I follow him to the hotel where he is partying with 3 girls.
How do you know he was partying with 3 girls?
Well, he got the hotel through Hotels Tonight, which is my credit card, so I pay for that too. And the front desk will give me a key. The room is in my name. And I'm able to just walk in and see it.
So you get a key, you wait until he goes up to the room, then you go get a duplicate key. And you go and use the key without knocking?
Absolutely.
You open the door and what do you see?
I see him and 3 other girls, and they're getting it on.
Not really. They were just dancing.
No, they weren't.
So they were just dancing.
For the most part, when she came in, they
And
were.
that's okay. You go to the hotel, charge it on her credit card with her car payment money that you were supposed to use to pay the car note, and you go upstairs to the hotel, have 3 girls dancing, and they're just dancing.
Dancing, yeah.
Not a big deal.
Okay, well, I mean, I told her that I asked her if she wanted to hang out and go. It wasn't that bad, really. I mean,
No, it really was. It really
have some other
So
people come
you
over.
see him, and what do you say?
I didn't say anything because I couldn't. I just kind of sat there with my mouth open and my eyes, I'm sure, were like saucers.
Did he see you?
Oh, definitely.
And what was his response?
He didn't respond. He just kept doing what he was doing.
No, I said, come on over.
You asked her to join.
I mean, what else was I supposed to do? I just said, come on over and check this out. I mean, really, well, I'm gonna throw this out here. You can join, or it can be, embarrassing and weird, and the party can end. So I figured, hey, come on in, let's hang out. Let's have a good
Is that the
time.
last time you saw him?
No, it didn't end there at all. I turned around and walked out, and he came home the next day like nothing happened.
Coming up on Judge Faith, did the player get played?
What evidence do you have that she sold your cowboy boots and kept money?
She threatened that she would do it, so I figured that she probably did.
How many cowboy boots, sir?
I would say I got about 50 pair, maybe.
Did you take any cowboy boots?
I would love to take your cowboy boots, trust me.
Plaintiff Catherine Munoz says Hugh seemed like a nice guy until she discovered her money was missing. She's suing for stolen money and vehicle impound cost. Defendant Hugh Michael Meredith says he doesn't know because Catherine took money from his side business.
And so you kick him out,
No, I leave.
you leave,
I
and
packed
go
the car
where?
and back to my mom's in Florida.
That was the last time you saw him?
Yeah.
Hold on a second, Your Honor. I did have a collection of cowboy boots. I know I touched on that earlier. And she sold some of them. I don't know how many she sold, but I know that I sell them for, $300, $400, $500. And I don't know how many she sold.
What evidence do you have that she sold your cowboy boots and kept money?
She threatened that she would do it, so I figured that she probably did.
How many cowboy boots, sir?
I would say I got about 50 pair, maybe, give or take, and I'd say she probably sold at least 5 pair, I would think.
How do you know that she's the one that took the cowboy boots? Did you take any cowboy boots?
I would love to take your cowboy boots, trust me. I sold 1 pair on eBay for him. I emailed him the label, he printed it out, and he shipped the boots himself.
Yeah, but I didn't see any of the money, and
That's the only pair of boots that you sold?
1 pair.
that she's admitting to.
And you want me to see these boots for what reason? You make them,
Yeah, I make them and design them, and then if somebody likes them, I'll sell them, or, I try to get her to put them on eBay, and we were split the money and all, but I never really saw any money from it, so.
And you don't have any proof as to what boots you had, how
I don't
much
really
they
keep
were worth.
inventory of them just because it's
Yeah,
like
that's
an
a
art.
problem when you come to court and say someone stole
know.
your inventory. You don't have proof of what your inventory is.
I mean, I got pictures.
I mean, because here's what I have so far in this case in terms of who has credibility and who doesn't. I have someone in front of me who admits that for months they basically ran a scam on their girlfriend, took the money, instead of paying her car note, you used it to party with strippers, changed the number on the account, used her credit card to go to a hotel room, but now all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe that she took some cowboy boots as inventory from you. Mm-hmm. You go back to Florida to your mom's house, and what happens next?
Well, 30 days later, they repossess my vehicle, and I have to come up with $2,332 to get it back.
You have proof you paid that?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see it, please?
There's the...
I'm telling y'all meet these people online. You think it's love at first sight? You came in here, oh, he's my soulmate. He's my soul. No, he's a con and a thief. So in August, you submitted proof that you did make a payment to the title company in the amount of $23.32. What happened next, ma'am?
I had to continue paying off the loan.
What else do you say he owes you for?
The money that he took out of the account.
What money? This money?
Well, she owed.
That's not what I was saying.
She owed like $4,000. I took that money out, and that's when she caught me taking it. I was supposed to be making the payments, so I was taking it. That's what that money is. That's just
So you didn't take extra money out. This is money you're making for the payments to the
that
car.
we've been talking about, yeah. And
Okay.
she had to. I guess they accelerated the loan or something, and she had to pay off the additional $2,000 to get it back out because they. I don't know what exactly happened, but
Okay, so
they
beyond
make you pay the full balance, I guess.
Okay, so all we're talking about here are the payments that I have submitted here, the withdrawals that were made out of this PayPal account, the $360. That's the money that he took, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. 2,800.
Okay, and you wanted to show me what evidence do you have? You wanted to show me some text messages. I understand.
I do. I have screenshots of them.
That's fine.
Scroll right through there.
How can you be so cavalier about doing this? I don't understand.
What am I supposed to really
It's
say?
just,
I mean,
it's just a complete casual indifference to me that's
we
stunning.
just fought about it for so much.
There's no change.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
So you text her in August, you paid for my parties and you didn't even know it, ha ha. Hope you get to keep your car, but not really. I'll never pay you back. I spent the money on whores. Good luck finding me.
Did I say that?
My God. You have a daughter? You have a daughter?
I do.
How old is your daughter?
2.
Yeah, we can only hope she never meets someone like you. And you write back, you write to her, I'm not proud, but I get abused by women and I've had enough. So this is your payback?
I think I was drunk when I wrote those texts because
Doesn't matter.
I know.
As
must have been a little
my
pissed
grandmother
off.
used to say, a drunk man never tells a tale.
I know. I must have been when I said that because I wouldn't normally say something like that.
And then you write to her, I never want to talk to you again. And she writes, goodbye, Michael. All right, so I guess this is goodbye for everyone. Judgment for the plaintiff. Sir, I'm ordering you to pay the plaintiff back the money that you took from her account. $2,332 judgment for the plaintiff.
I feel about the judge's ruling pretty good, vindicated. Happy there's closure for it. It's a chapter in my life I just want it to be over.
Don't get a hotel room and put it in your girlfriend's name so she can't walk in on you.
A love affair that lasts.
I live in a small town. People were talking, you know. I don't care what they talk, is what I felt. She was having an affair with another man.
We were done. I had spent a year doing everything but tattooing. I need attention on your forehead.
I think you skipped a big part of that story. Cops just don't show up and arrest you. What happened?
Plaintiff Paul Barron says while he was out of town, the defendant began an affair that ended their 10-year relationship. He's suing for the value of his personal belongings. Defendant Ina Wells says she doesn't know because it was clear years ago that their relationship was over and Paul's belongings were returned to him.
Paul Barron,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are suing the defendant Ina Wells
Yes, ma'am.
for $6,336, the value of your personal belongings you say she has.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why don't we start from the beginning, sir? How do you know Miss Wells?
We met approximately in 2004 and started a relationship. And
Okay, so this is your former girlfriend?
yes.
How long did the two of you date, ma'am?
I met him when I was 14, got reacquainted with him again in 2004 in Durango, 10 years.
10 years? Did
Yep.
the two of you live together during
Yep.
that time period? Did you share a home together?
Yes.
Okay, when did your relationship end with the plaintiff?
As far as I was concerned, when I told him it ended was October. He finally decided to leave in February
What do you mean
of
by that?
2015. We were done. I had spent a year doing everything but tattooing. I need attention on your forehead. He didn't notice that I went from 189 to 142. If he ain't gonna notice, somebody else will.
And so in October, you told him the relationship was over. Whose house was this you were living in? It was your house? So you moved into her house?
No, we are renting.
You rented a home. Why do you say it was yours?
Because it was in my name because I have children.
Okay, so how many people were living there at the time?
Me and him, actually, because my son went to go live with his aunt in Colorado.
Okay, was your name on the lease, sir?
No, ma'am.
Who was paying the rent?
I paid all the rent and all the bills.
Is that true?
Not all the bills, no.
But he paid the rent?
Yes, he paid the rent.
Your name was on the lease, he was paying the rent, so this was clearly a place the two of you were sharing together.
Oh, yes.
But was the agreement in October of 2014 when you told him it was over, was the agreement that he would move out?
No, ma'am, there was no agreement. I was told this was his house and he was gonna stay.
So that's why he didn't leave?
Yes, ma'am.
Until February of 2015?
Yes.
What happened? Why'd you move out then?
I was escorted out by the cops and put under arrest.
Why? I think you skipped a big part of that
Right.
story. The cops just don't show up and arrest you. What happened?
No. What happened then was we finally got into our last argument, and supposedly I said something.
So in September, start with September.
She was having an affair with another man.
What led you to believe that?
I could feel it in my heart, and I live in a small town. People were talking, I don't care what they talked, it's what I felt.
Was it true?
That I was having an affair?
Yes.
A verbal one at that point.
I'm sorry?
A verbal one at that point. I wanted to sleep with him. I tried everything I could. He wouldn't do it till February.
You mean you were having an emotional affair,
Yep.
but there had it not escalated to
Yes.
a physical relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
Coming up on Judge Faith, man drama makes matters worse.
Did you not go in the house, sir?
She would not let me in the house.
I know you're upset. I know you're angry, and I know you're hurt, because that's when I get these cases.
Plaintiff Paul Barron says an affair ended his 10-year relationship with Ina. He's suing for the value of his personal belongings. Defendant Ina Wells says she doesn't know because she returned her ex-boyfriend's personal belongings.
The man that I was trying to have an affair with
You were trying to have an affair.
would not be with me while I was still in a relationship with Paul.
Oh, so you were ready for it to
Oh, yeah.
escalate, but the person you were having the affair with, said no because he knew you were in a relationship with him. So you find out that she is having an affair.
So what do? We got in a big argument, and I guess I said I was going to kill her boyfriend or whatever.
Excuse me?
I guess I said I was going to kill her boyfriend.
You guess you said. Did you
Yeah.
not say you were going to kill her boyfriend?
Not in those words, no.
Sir, those were the words you just told me.
Yeah.
So you told her you were going to
arrested
kill
me
her
for.
boyfriend. Now I know why the police showed up.
That's why they showed up.
That's
yeah.
why.
Yeah.
When you threaten to kill someone, usually
Yeah, police
they will show up, won't they, Walt?
Yeah. And that was hearsay. The charges have been dropped on that.
It was hearsay. You just said it.
I said,
I just heard what you
I know,
said.
I
So
said-
if that's
I might
hearsay,
have
then
said that.
I guess so. Sir, you might be rethinking it and you may be trying to talk around it, but according to your own testimony, that's what you said.
well, if I said it, I said it, It's...
What, you're arguing with yourself now?
No, I'm not arguing with myself. I'm just telling you why I was put in jail.
So you were arrested. What happened to the criminal case?
It was dropped down to a disorderly misdemeanor.
Was there order of protection put in place?
There's a no contact order, yes, ma'am.
So there is a restraining order
No contact order, yes, ma'am.
between the plaintiff and your boyfriend, and you say you're a part of it as well?
Yes.
Tell me about the threat that he made against your boyfriend's life. Was that to you?
Yeah.
Okay, what did he say?
We
What
came
happened?
Friday night, we had an argument, went over Sunday to get my clothes for work, and he says, I hope you're not there when I go to kill him. He's threatened to kill me many times. I'm not even worried. But that look he had that day was worrisome. 'Cause
You
he's
threatened to
never-
kill her too, sir?
I've never threatened to kill her.
So are you saying that these were not words you actually meant, that you were just upset and angry
Totally
when
upset
you
and
said
angry.
it?
Yeah, I've been with her for 10 years. Yeah, I cared about her, okay?
The police show up, they arrest you, and at this point, you now have to move out of the apartment, correct?
Yes, I was taken to jail.
How many days did you spend in jail?
I was released the next morning.
You then have to move out of the apartment. You are suing, sir, for $6,336, the value of your personal belongings you say she still has in the apartment, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so usually how this works is they give you a police escort, they take you back over to the home, and you get your things out of the home and go your separate way. Did that happen?
I went there with the police. She had set up a time to do it. She left some boxes of some old clothes that I had and one of the new TVs that I bought in the front porch. That was it.
Did you not go in the house, sir?
She would not let me in the house.
Were the police with you?
Yes.
Did you tell the police she won't let me in the house, my things are
They
still
said
in the
there's
house?
nothing they could do about it.
Okay, well, there is something that they can do about it. So what date was that, sir?
Would have been February 10th, 2015.
Did you keep a lot of his items inside of the home?
No, ma'am, I did not.
When two people live together for 10 years, how are you going to prove to me that these were not items that the two of you shared as a couple in this household?
Yes, we shared them. I paid for them. She never contributed no money.
Okay, is that true?
Oh, no. Every tax season, he never filed his taxes. 10 years, all mine.
What are you saying?
The couch was a gift Mother's Day. It was also bought on sale from the same place that the box spring bed was.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to come into court and say one thing about the furniture and the property. She's going to say something else.
Right.
And it's property that the two of you have accumulated over the course of 10 years. And you want me to decide who paid for what and when and divide up the property. This isn't divorce court.
All right.
You have to come in and show me proof. And the fact is, when couples live together, they share a home together, they share a bed together, it's really hard for you then to come into court and say, well, Judge, in fact, now that we've broken up, this stuff was mine. I know you're upset. I know you're angry, and I know you're hurt, because that's when I get these cases. Because she cheated on you, she had an affair, in your mind, she's still with her little boy toy. And you're upset about it.
I'm not
and you're
upset about
saying,
it, no.
I want my stuff. Oh, yeah, you are. So much so that you threatened him and went to jail for it.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
Here's what you need to do. You have to go back because your first, instead of suing civilly, your first remedy in this case is to go back to the police and say, I have a right, according to this stay-away order, to go and retrieve my property. And you should have done this right away. The first time I went to do that, it did not, she left things out for me, but there are other things in the house that belong to me.
Yes.
And I would like, here's the list of my items. I would like to go back with a police escort at a time where she's not there, where her boyfriend's not there, and collect my items. You take those items, I'm gonna give you the list. The items that you agree on, you take those items and you set those items out for him. If and only then, sir, if there is still a dispute that she is not giving you some of these items on this list that rightfully belong to you, then you go to civil court. But I'm going to tell you now, you're not going to win your case because you're not going to be able to prove that in the course of 10 years that these items exclusively belong to you and that they were not your items that you shared as a
I
couple.
just bought them less than a year ago, brand new.
So then get those receipts and get them together
You have
because
a
if
copy
she
of
does
them?
not, I'm going to give her a copy of this list. I want this to happen. I want the two of you to set this up within the next 48 hours. You understand? If there are things that are still in dispute after that and you can prove your case with receipts, you purchased these items and they did not belong to you as a couple, then you can bring the lawsuit again. Case is dismissed without prejudice.
I'm not happy with the judge's decision, period.
I feel Judge Faith's ruling was right on. He can have everything but the washer and the dryer.